Oh, hey, I'm going to do a video right now about active energy versus resting energy. So I know somebody had asked that question in the group when it came to their tracker. So I wanted to kind of break this down and tell you what those numbers mean and what you should be really looking for when it comes to those numbers. And I totally had to go hide in my car because there's too much stuff going on in the house and I keep getting interrupted. I was like, I have to go to the car so I can do this. If you can relate, let me know. But so active energy versus resting energy when you're looking at your tracker, what does it mean? So active energy is the number of calories, the energy that you're expending when you are being physically active, when you're working out. The other number, the resting energy, is the number of calories, the energy expended just to keep you alive, for you just to exist, to be here, for your body to be humming and running. That is what your resting energy level is. Now, how do they get that number? Well, when you are setting up your device, your phone, your tracker, whatever, it's going to ask you questions like height, weight, sex, activity level, all of that. That's how they get that number. They kind of guesstimate based on data and what they've put together. So it automatically puts you at that number to start off with. And you can also go into, like on Google or wherever and type in what's my basal metabolic rate, and it'll calculate the same thing for you. Now, which number should you pay attention to? Which one's more important? What should you care about? Well, and this is my opinion, but I'm going to explain it out why. I think a lot of people tend to focus on the active energy level expended because they want to know, well, how many calories am I burning? Like I just did that 50-minute Zumba workout. How many calories did I burn? And that's all we want to focus on. When a better indicator of your overall health, what's really going on inside of your body, is the resting energy level. And here's why. Because again, that number is telling you what it just takes for you to be alive currently in the state of your body right now, in this state that you're in right now. So if you're looking to lose weight, right, and you're working out, this is why I'm always teaching and talking about muscle. Maintaining muscle, muscle growth, muscle protection, building muscle, weight training, resistance training. Muscle is so important. So muscle requires energy to grow. Muscle requires energy to be maintained. That is why your basal metabolic rate is what it is, why your resting energy level is what it is, because that's the amount of energy that it is expending to keep you alive, to maintain the muscle mass that you have right now. Again, this is why I always teach and preach and talk about weight training for women, because you want to grow that muscle, because the muscle needs energy. So the greatest way to increase your total energy expenditure, your TDEE, right, your total daily energy expenditure, that's adding your active and your resting together. The greatest way to increase that is not by doing more workouts, right? Because you can only exercise for however many minutes during the day. You're going to max out on exercising, but you can always improve on your muscle mass. You can always be working on maintaining and growing your muscle mass, because so many of us are under muscled as it is. So that's where we need to kind of shift our thinking. So if we can work on growing and maintaining our muscle, we will therefore increase our resting energy level just like that, which is going to translate into more overall total daily energy expenditure. You follow? You tracking what I'm saying? So the more you can build your muscle, the more energy that your body is going to need to use to keep that muscle growing and to keep you alive and running and humming. So that is the better number that you should look at to really gauge your progress when it comes to your workouts, because what you're going to want to see is that number, that resting energy level. You want to see that number start to rise. And I'm not talking about like a sharp up and a down. I'm talking about a trending upward, because you want your basal metabolic rate to go up. And it's going to go up when it has more muscle mass to maintain. So that number will start to go up and up and up. So that is a way better indicator of, are my workouts effective? Am I lifting enough weights? Am I getting enough workouts in? That number will tell you. Now, maybe you're asking, well, what's a good number for me to shoot for? Like, what would be a good, base, resting energy level? Well, what I'm going to tell you is, look at wherever you're at right now. You're probably somebody who is wanting to improve on their health, right? So for you, what I would say is, any improvement on this number that you see today, that's what you want to shoot for. You want to shoot for a number that shows improvement over time. And everybody's bodies are different, right? And everybody's goals are different when it comes to their bodies. A person who wants to be super shredded is going to have a very different TDEE. They're going to have a very different total daily energy expenditure versus somebody who doesn't really want to be very ripped, but maybe wants to stay a little bit more on the curvy side, but is still working on building their muscle, but they have more fat, right? You got boobs, you got a butt, you got hips. That's fat. That's what makes that. So your ratio of muscle to fat is going to be different. So your numbers are going to look different. So we can't exactly say what that number should be, but base it on you, because any number that's better than yesterday, any number that's better than last week or the week before, that's going to be an improvement. So that's what you want to look for, because it's all what's happening inside of you. So that's what I would tell you. Now, what can slow down your, or what can lower your resting energy level? What can lower that number? Because it can drop. Things like stress, things like not getting enough sleep, things like working out too much, things like not eating enough. That's another one that can really slow things down for you, because your body's going into protective mode, and it's not going to want to extend, use those calories for much of anything except just to keep you going. So that's all going to start to slow down when you're putting that type of stress on your body. So you can correct that with nutrition. You can correct that with better, stress management, better overall holistic wellness, right? A lot of the things that I teach that can help to just naturally increase that resting energy level for you. Because again, the stress, the not eating enough, the yo-yo dieting, the not sleeping enough, that all is going to lower your number, and that's not what you want to happen. You want to have that number going up and going up and going up for yourself. You want to see it trending upward. And let me think if I wanted to say anything else about that. Nope, I think that's about it when it comes to those two things. So the active energy versus resting energy. So again, focus on the resting energy. That's a better indicator of your overall health, of your cardiovascular health, your blood pressure, inflammation levels, of everything that's going on inside of your body. That's a way better indicator, because your metabolic health, especially, right, the things that control your metabolism, that's what keeps you alive. That's why I talk about this so much, because it's so connected to your overall health, and why it's important, especially with us women, because cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women over 40. And not enough people know that, not enough people talk about it, and not enough people take it seriously. So using your device, tracking, this is like one of the best things that you can do when it comes to biohacking, right? Because that's why I always talk about weight resistance training when it comes to women. Like, stop worrying about doing all the cardio and running and doing all the things, because you can only do so much of that. You're going to max out on that active energy. What you want to more focus on doing things that are going to be more long-term and sustainable for you when it comes to your health and building that muscle, so that way it can keep burning for you over time. Okay, so I hope this video has been great for you. I got somebody busting in. See, I can't even get time. All right, guys.